Hi everybody, it's Action Coach Andy here. Today I'm doing a video review of Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. That's my frog, not Brian Tracy's frog. The cover looks like this. It's an eye-catching cover. What is the book about? The book is subtitled 21 Great Ways to Stop Procrastinating and Get More Done in Less Time. Who doesn't want to have some tips on how to avoid procrastination? I certainly need them, and I've implemented some of the tips in this book already, and they're paying dividends. This is an easy book to read. It's got 108 pages. The writing is fairly big. It's divided into 21 chapters. Each chapter a different tip that you can use and put into practice. Easy to read, easy to understand, very, very practical. So you might be asking, what is that frog that you have to eat? Well, according to Brian, the frog that you need to eat is that most difficult task that you need to do. The task that is probably the task that's going to add the most value to you, and the task that you procrastinate the easiest with. So the theory is that is your frog. And what you need to do is eat that frog first thing in the morning. Why first thing in the morning? Once you've eaten that frog first thing in the morning, it's done. There's no more procrastinating, it's done. The rest of the day can only get better as well, because what can be worse than eating a frog? So you have to think through, what is that task that you keep on putting off, that you keep on procrastinating, that you get into the office and kind of by 4 o'clock you still haven't really got it done and that sort of thing. That's your frog. That's a frog you need to prioritize to eat first every day. As I said earlier, there are a lot of tips that he has here. So I'm just going to pick out 1 or 2 tips to give you a bit of a insight into the book. So the one tip is to identify that frog and make sure the last thing you do in the office each day before you go to leave the office is to write up and prioritize what that frog is that you're going to eat the next day. Another tip that he talks about is clear your desk at the end of the day. Have the only thing that's on your desk, that frog that you need to eat the next day. And why is that important? And that's because if it's a task that you procrastinate easily, you know what it's like. You get into the office and you think, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, and you don't quite get there. Whereas if the night before, the last thing on the day before, you've prepared for your task, let's just say it's cold calling. You've prepared a list of 10 phone numbers that you're going to cold call. You've got the piece of paper on your desk, it's there, ready for you when you walk into the office, first thing in the morning. It's the only thing on your desk that's greeting you. What are you going to do? You're going to eat that frog. And you're going to concentrate on that. And once that is finished, then you're going to move on to something else. Now, there are many, many tips that he gives. Another tip that he talks about is to say and identify to yourself, what's this key skill that you need that would result in the greatest improvement in your business and your productivity? Identify what that key skill is and make sure that you are spending time developing that key skill. There are many other tips in this book. I think it's a magnificent book. Who should read it? Really, anyone that struggles with procrastination. Anyone who has a task that they know is vital and important to the success of their business, but they somehow keep on sabotaging themselves and never quite getting to that task. It's a great book, highly recommended. I hope you enjoy it. Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy.